Hello and welcome everyone to F4 round 11 of the season at Hungary. Got 16 drivers currently in the lobby. Not sure if any more are going to join. We've got about well more than half the drivers coming out within the first minute and a half of the session. It's got only two drivers currently setting the mediums. First is Chemical Wolf, who will be the first driver to set a lap, and Nelly, who is currently sat in the garage. Through the final corner, start his lap. Down towards turn 1. Downhill braking zone, getting it slowed down. Bit wide from Chemical Wolf. Still gets a decent exit into turn 2. Hugging that inside curb, keeping it in 4th. Through the flicker turn 3. And rising, blind crest of turn 4. Very hesitant through turn 4 then was Chemical Wolf. It's not been the best lap so far on those mediums. Goes deep into the chicane as well. And through the S's, how committed is he? Just taking multiple stabs at the steering wheel. Down towards turn 12. Gets it slowed down. It's going to have to be a fairly decent final sector, which it has been so far. Gentle on the power. Turns in a bit too early for that final corner, does Chemical Wolf. Comes across the line for a 118 flat. His fingerhook instantly beats that for 115.6. Next person on their lap. The Badder, who has done 21-1. Vico and Tom both Alfa Romeos onto the front row with low 15s. Martinoli and the Renault does a 15.7. Rigby does a 15.8 in the Williams. And Connor does a 16.8 in the second Williams. And Ellis on their outlap. And Pova, Team Killer, Nelly still in the pit lane. As Nelly is now coming out on the mediums. Surprising that so many people have chose the soft compound tyre. The nature of this circuit. If you're starting on those softs, if you don't feel confident enough to put on the hards, doing a 2-stop, and with it being such a difficult circuit to overtake, they're really going to need to hope that they can make light work of the traffic they're going to have to inevitably put up with. Ellis on their prep. Through the final corner. Decent exit to start the lap. Turn 1 braking just after the 100 metre board. Small lock up in the Ferrari. Gets it slowed down though. Into turn 2. Difficult again. Small lock up on the left front. Decent line though from Ellis. Finishes first sector and it is purple with a 26.9. Gentle through turn 5, don't touch that inside curb. into the chicane, Another lock up on the right front. Through the S's. Downshifts to 6 for turn 11. 54.2. Again, another lock up through the penultimate corner. Now through the final corner. There's somewhat decent exit, running along that curb, up to the line is P7 with a 16.1. Just want to flick to Nelly on the mediums. Where can Nelly put himself? Up to the line. It's P3 as a superb lap from Nelly on the mediums. 15.5. And the only person inside the top 10 who's on the mediums, one of only 2 people who chose them. And finger hook. Currently P5. 4 attempts off pole position at the moment in the AlphaTauri. He's down on his first sector, runs wide at turn 4, and very easy thing to do, invalidate the lap. And Vico is on his out lap. Any other people on any laps? Don't think we do. And Team Kill on his, I think. And he is on his. 54.4. And a McLaren. And through turn 13. Back end steps out. Very cautious through the final 2 corners. Up to the line is P11 with 16.6. And Tom H starting his second flying lap. Turn 1, nice on the brakes. Very good exit. So I'm currently one of 3 people sitting on a 15.5. Needs quite a bit of an improvement if he wants to be challenging Vico. He's up by just under a tenth through the first sector. Doesn't attack turn 4 as much as other people have been. Into the chicane. Nice if the chicane from Tom. Yes, is not making full use of the track. Doesn't want to invalidate his time. But it is a pep in the sector, he is 2 attempts up. This could be challenging Vico. For his penultimate corner. Bit misses the apex slightly. And through final corner. Again, just missing that apex. Well, out the final corner, what's it going to be for Tom? And it's only a marginal improvement, it's enough to put himself on the front row. But it's not much of an improvement. And Vico is on his lap at the moment as well. Is he going to put even more distance? Vico is going to put more distance between him and everyone else. For 15.1. 3.5 attempts clear. Rowe currently sitting P3. Oh, nearly cutting the inside of turn 10. But he's up by a tenth. It is purple through the middle sector. And his second lap's looking a lot better from near enough everyone. And through the penultimate corner, takes a late apex. As Rowe locks up into the final corner. It's a decent exit though for the Red Bull, and up to the line is enough for P2. And by just 100th of a second, Vico keeps hold of that pole position. Don't think anyone's actually on a lap, but I think Ellis is the only person on a time lap. Getting down is Ellis at the moment through the middle sector. Runs a bit deep into 10-12. Nicely done through 13 though. It's going to be an improvement, it's not going to be by much. And DRS open up to the line, and it's not an improvement for Ellis, and it remains P9. And Fingerhooker is now starting his third lap after invalidating his second. The AlphaTauri currently P5 on a 15.6. Down towards 10.2. Bit of misses the apex slightly. Flat through 3. Is he going to invalidate this time through 10.4? It is purple through the first sector. It takes it very cautiously though, does Fingerhook. Into the chicane. Gets it slowed down. Decent lap so far. Very nearly invalidates through there. Into 10-11. Not using the full width of the track. He's still a 10th up though. Another purple sector. Oh, deep into 12. 13. Misses his apex. Now into 14. Nails turn 14 in the final corner. It's a shorter run to the line as well. What's it going to be? Fingerhook? He remains P5, but it is a 15.5 and joins Nelly and Tom H on 15.5s. Martinoli currently P6, 4 tenths up through the middle sector. Looking like a very decent lap from the Renault. Bit of a slide. Round the final corner. Where's this going to put Martinoli? Up to the line is P3 and a 15.2. Very good lap. And Tom H starting will be his third and final lap. And it's nicely through turn 1. 3.5 tenths off his teammate Vico, who has provisional pole at the moment. Needs a fairly large improvement, does Tom. He's through the first sector, 6 milliseconds down on his time. Into the chicane. Nicely done through the chicane. 10-11, make or break. Does he push the track limits? No, he doesn't. Purple middle sector though. And through 10-13, late apex. So it's going to be for Tom. Is it going to be enough for pole position? Will it even be enough for the front row? Up to the line in his pole. By about half a tenth is a 15 flat from Tom. And that is a big improvement. I think that's what he was looking for. And Vico is on his outlap. Can he respond to his teammates and retake that provisional pole position? Rowe's currently still sitting in the pits as Rowe. Vico just needs to leave a bit of a gap to the Red Bull. And Vico's coming straight back in. So he's not going to, and that is Vico saying he's not going to try and challenge for pole position. We've got Nelly currently down in P5, who's decided to ditch the mediums. Surprisingly, as Nelly. Probably would have thought that he would have liked to start on them. Clearly chose not to. Flying through the middle sector, 4 attempts up is Nelly. Is he going to displace Tom from that provisional pole position? Oh, slidey, and now he's coming into the pits. He is starting, I think, on those mediums. I don't think he's done a time on the softs. And Fingerhook starting his final lap. Okay, another one of those drivers on a 15.5. He's down through the first sector, nearly invalidates again through turn 4. I think he will be one of the first people to finish his final flying lap. He's got people coming into the pit. Rigby has returned to the pits. And Fingerhook is a 10th up. It's not going to be enough to challenge the front 2 rows, but it will be enough to get him ahead of Nelly at the moment. Through the final corner for Fingerhook. Is it an improvement? It isn't an improvement. It's not enough to put him on the 2nd row, but it is enough to beat Nelly. And Rowe, oh, he's invalidated his lap. His final attempt at pole position, and Rowe has invalidated it. As Pova stays 15th on the mediums. And Bada is not on a lap. And Ellis is also invalidated. Now, has everyone completed all of their runs? There is an Alfa Romeo front row with Tom heading Vico. I'm not sure, but I'm pretty sure that Nelly is on the mediums. It just says that he's on the 0 lap old softs. And final qualifying order, Tom H. Superb 15 flat to take pole position ahead of Vico, his teammate. 2nd row is Rowe, ahead of Martinoli. 3rd row Fingerhook and Nelly. 4th row DePacway and Rigby. 5th row Ellis and New Squidis. And then outside of the top 10 of Mr. Silence, Connor, Team Kill, Chemical Wolf, Pova and Bada, who will get a free choice of tyre, and notably as well, Nelly the only person inside the top 10 to qualify on the mediums, and he's only 4.5 tenths off pole position. So if Nelly had been on those softs, probably put money on Nelly being maybe quite far on pole position. Very interesting to see what people pick now for strategy. And drivers all starting the formation lap now, and as you can clearly see, everyone in the top 10 on their softs apart from Nelly. Everyone else has picked the mediums to start on, apart from Chemical Wolf, who has chose the hards. Now, from past knowledge, I did the commentary for the no assist yet, and Carcraft from Tier 1 started on those hards, and he seemingly didn't enjoy them at all. I'm not sure how Chemical Wolf is going to feel on those hards at the start of this race. Yeah, everyone else picking the mediums outside the top 10. Their main goal is just to stay within the pit stop window of the people in front of them. The softs probably going at max. You can probably get 8 laps out of those softs after starting on them because of doing qualifying. Tom has decided to create a massive gap between him and Vico on the formation lap. Might need to slow down a bit, Tom. Don't want to be sitting on that grid for a huge amount of time. Driver's leaving Matt and Nelly as well, leaving a huge gap between him and Fingerhook. And Tom already lining up on the grids, and Bada is only going through 10:13 now. So he's going to sit on that grid for a while, Tom. He's probably going to lose quite a bit of temperature in those tyres sitting there. Everyone files around the final corner into their grid positions. Green flag waved. Five red lights. And green in Hungary for F4. It's a decent start from the two Alfa Romeos. Rowe, however, has got a really good start compared to Vico. Is he going to challenge Tom to turn 1? Yes, he is. As Vico cuts the inside curve, but Rowe with a superb start from the Red Bull, from P3, gets both Alfa Romeos into turn 1. And two Alfa Romeos now going side by side, make a small bit of contact through turn 2. And for Renault there going wide through turn 3. And Timing Pages needs to sort itself out for me because I have no idea who's where. Let's see Rowe jump. There's jump of Alfa Romeos, but they look very feisty. It's Nelly, and oh no, Nelly's been spun. Nelly and Fingerhook made contact at the chicane. And ghosting inside cars, and absolute carnage through the middle sector on the opening lap. Nelly, where's Fingerhook has dropped all the way down to P11 from that contact. From that, not quite sure what happened then. I don't think Nelly gave him a squeeze. I'm sure that was telling me the Vico got past Tom, but it wasn't. And Connor as well. Connor has made a superb start, and from P12 already up into P6 on the mediums as well in the Williams. Field is fairly spread. Rigby has also lost 8 places and is down in 16th and last, so he's probably had an incident on lap 1 as well. As again keeps telling me that the two Alfa Romeos are swapping position at the front, even though they're not. At the moment it is Rowe from Tom from Vico, and Martinelli is keeping with the top 3 as well. Need to keep within the DRS into these guys of each other. And Rowe he's done one of the difficult bits is a small lock up into 10-12. But he did what he needed to do, and he got the jump on both Alfa Romeos into the first corner. Just needs to settle it down a bit now. Get into a decent rhythm and just try and pull away from those people who started on the mediums. And Tom sticking very close to him and sets the fastest lap as well, does Tom. And another small lock up from Rowe into turn 1. And Fingerhook looking for a move. And Team Kill, is he going to go for it? Not quite. Close enough. That's probably going to be the nature of this race. I think you can go for a move. I think the gap's there, but we've got to be committed. You guys really far back from the leaders already. These guys more than 10 seconds behind Rowe in the lead after just 2.5 laps. Nelly as well after that spin. He's right on the back of Connor, so he's not lost. He's definitely lost time to those people at the front as Nelly that he definitely wouldn't have wanted, but he's not lost a huge amount of time as he runs wide, so we're picking up a track limit warning there. We had both of these two on the mediums. Now these will be older because they're qualifying on them. I think you'll probably want to dispatch Connor quite quickly and onto the pit straights. Easy pass. Connor doesn't really fight it. Not his race, probably at this stage, to be fighting with Nelly, who still has a very healthy amount of ERS. This stage, and we have Chemical Wolf and Fingerhook going side by side. Chemical Wolf on those hards. Up into P11. Fingerhook after that contact with Nelly, it's not helping us to pack when it becomes the first person to pick up 3 seconds for track limits. And quite a few people do have DRS, but it may not matter because, especially at the back here, they just seem to be forming a DRS train in the back of the field at the moment. See, Fingerhawk is now coming under attack from Ellis, who's going to look for it into 10-12 as well to get it slowed down. Does Ellis? It's not really an overtaking opportunity unless you have the grip as Rigby there going around the outside of Pova through turn 13. Superb move from Rigby, needing to make up positions after we lost so many on the opening lap. And see, pit window is now open for those people who started as soft as Ellis is having another look at Fingerhook into turn 1. Gets it slowed down, does Ellis. Fingerhook, however, on the cutback has managed to get back past Ellis and holds on to P12. And see, Chemical Wolf meanwhile is going side by side with Team Kill up towards turn 4, giving each other a lot of space, and Chemical Wolf backs out of it, knows there's no point going side by side through the high speed turn 4, and Team Kill holds on to P10. Stage, people actually making overtakes around Unreal trying. Never would have heard it or thought of it. You notice as well, Thomas actually managed to repass Rowe in all the fighting that I was looking at down the midfield, and I've actually missed the overtake for the lead. Classic F1 with the camera settings. Vico is actually closer to Rowe than what Rowe is now to Tom, Rowe has lost that DRS. You have another big lock-up from Rowe. Is not going to be helping those soft compound tyres at this stage. On the race, we've got someone in the pit. It's Rigby who's in the pit. Of course, he started inside the top 10 on those worn softs, and he is putting on the mediums, and he is committing to the 2-stop. Tapakwe picks up a second penalty already in this race, up to 6 seconds after just 5.5 laps of racing for the Renault, currently holding P5 within the DRS of his teammates, to be fair to Tapakwe. And these 5 at the front just beginning to pull away from everyone else that they need to, and at the moment I think because Chemical Wolf in P10 on those hards is not got a lot of pace to begin with, these guys might be able to stretch. If these guys can stretch this, they could maybe get out ahead as Vico goes for a huge dive from very far back into turn 1, completely misses the braking zone. Does Vico? It was worth the dive. It's not gained him anything, it's probably more lost him something to Rowe, and that might be his game plan. Might be a bit out of the window, because Rowe probably now knows that Vico is not afraid to go for a dive and can very easily cover it off. So Martinelli pitted at the end of lap 6, and he has also went to the mediums, committing to the 2-stop. His finger hook picks up 3 seconds for exceeding track limits. Again, Tom is, as Rowe picks up his first 3 seconds, but Tom is just flying away at the front at the moment. We've got a gap up to 3.3 seconds after just 7 laps. As Rowe is committing to the pit lane, Vico nearly committed to the pit lane. Notice that Tom was coming into the pit lane. Top 2 into the pits. What tyres are they putting on? Tom has got mediums ready, so he is doing a 2-stop. Rowe has also got mediums, he is also doing a 2-stop. Tapakwe pitted, also putting on the mediums. But as you can see, Tom has managed to... He's not got too many cars to overtake. There's Tom, if he wants to get back. As Vico gets 3 seconds for track limits. Tom not got too many cars to overtake compared to Rowe, Martinelli and Tapakwe. As New Squidus gets 3 seconds. They have 3 cars now between the former race leader and man formerly in second Rowe. The 2-stop distance, it's not fast around the circuit at all. As Badger and Connor get 3 seconds both on this lap. Notably as well, just going to pretend to Vico, who I'm pretty sure Nelly wasn't that close. I think Vico's tyres have completely died on that lap, as Nelly will take the provisional race lead. Take the net, and we'll actually take the net race lead with this race, as everyone still has to make one more pit stop unless Vico pits for the hards. Is he putting on hards? And Vico also puts on mediums, as he's changing his front wing as well. Is Vico? No wonder he was so slow on that in lap, and he's going to drop behind Martinelli, Tapakwe. Squidus and Ellis are also into the pits. Yeah, Vico dropping significantly far down, and whoever predicted that Vico would get front wing damage, your prediction was correct. So well done whoever predicted that. Looking at the gap now, so Nelly is now net race leader, has 5 seconds. Before I talk about that, as we had, I think Pover might have made a mistake into the chicane then. Martinelli has got past him. Yeah, main thing to note is that everyone has to still make one pit stop. So Nelly is net race leader, Mr. Silence is net P2, Connor is P3, and Tom, who started on pole, is net P4. Just under the set of fastest lap of a 19 flat. but he is 12 seconds off Nelly out in P1 and has 2 cars to overtake. If he wants any chance of retaking the lead of the race, Chemical Wolf on those hards puts 1 car between Tom and Rowe. Went to Packway and Pova didn't seem to be fighting that, I don't think. And come through turn 3. And most people still yet to pit. And notably it is the top 3 who still haven't pitted, but again, everyone went for the mediums. Who started in the top 10, not one of them took the risk of putting on the hards. There's not many people now within DRS of Ishova. The Packway is the person closest to anyone. He is only 2 attempts behind Team Kill. And through the final corner, on the fresher tyres is the Packway. As Martinoli sets the fastest lap. And to Packway, he was with his teammate in Rowe when he exited the pits, and he just hasn't seemed to clear the traffic as quickly as well Martinoli and Rowe did, and he's sitting held up as Rowe is also making a move on Chemical Wolf, who doesn't seem to be fighting that on the hards. Doesn't seem to be enjoying those hards at the moment. Chemical Wolf has got to take them a long way into this race. With Martinoli had a little look into the chicane in the Renault, and now he's got past him out of the chicane. So I think Chemical Wolf must have made a mistake on the exit of the chicane and has gifted Martinoli P6. Now he's free to chase after Rowe. Well, his team kill gets 3 seconds. Well, back with Tom, who's brought the gap to Connor down to just 1.6 seconds on those fresh mediums. He's got a charge to make, does Tom, if he wants to retake. So to Packway he's finally made the move on team kill into the first corner. And behind him as well, I think Vico has got past Pova. Needs to come back through the field as the championship leader. Not been the best start to the race for Vico, wherever he picked up that front wing damage. He's right on the back of Team Kill, and as well his teammate Tom is right on the back of Connor. So the fresh mediums have got a significant pace advantage. Vico has also managed to get past Team Kills. We have yellow flags. I think that was Ellis making a mistake in the middle sector, as Nelly is into the pits for what surely is the hard tyres, pitting a bit earlier than the people around him. Obviously Nelly's gone to the softs. So Nelly, I don't quite understand Nelly's logic with that, unless he hasn't changed the game's automatic strategy. He might well have just thrown away a chance of the win, because he could have easily took hard to the end, especially from this position of the race. He could still easily take them to the end. And all of a sudden, Tom has also managed to get past Connor. Only has 1 car in between him and the race lead, being Mr. Silence, and they both still have 1 more pit stop to make. So all of a sudden Tom is very much back in what looks like a driving seat if he can get past Mr. Silence to take the race win. Now he's dropped down to P7, he's looking at Chemical Wolf through the middle sector. Again, Chemical Wolf might have lifted there, knowing he's on the hards, but yeah, Nelly, was the softs the right option, unless he's going to use 2 sets of softs to the end, which I don't think he can. Well, 23 laps on 2 sets of softs, it seems a bit... doesn't seem feasible for Nelly, but he's got to use those softs, as Vico has got past the packway into the final corner. As they are now going to be the next 2 to catch Chemical Wolf, who is on those hards. Nelly's got to take advantage of those softs at this stage of the race, and he has to get past Martinoli and Rowe, I think, as quick as he can. Sets purple first sector, not surprising, he's the only person on those softs at the moment. Looking very, as Tom picks up his first penalty. It's not going to help him at the front, but he is within a second of Mr. Silence. Got 8 laps fresher tyres as well. Chemical Wolf gets 3 seconds. Mr. Silence looking like he's struggling on those warm mediums. Tom, is this going to be an easy DRS pass? Or is Mr. Silence going to defend it? It looks like he is going to try and defend it. Is Tom close enough? He is. Looks to the inside. Oh, Mr. Silence spins. Trying to fight for the lead. He's got it going again, and he has tapped the wall, and oh no, he spins again. Trying to get it the right way. Oh dear, Mr. Silence. A very costly mistake. It's not going to help him at all. He's now got the damage of more yellow flags in Sector 1. There's Nuf Squidus, who has also been into the gravel, or the grass, at the exit of the first corner. A spin for as well for Mr. Silence has removed one car that Nelly has to overtake. Is absolutely flying, is Nelly at the moment on those fresh softs. He's already caught up to Rowe. Through the final corner. I think Rowe might have the DRS as well from Connor in front of him. And does not actually. Wasn't close enough through the detection zone. Into turn 1, Nelly very late on the brakes, nearly tapped Rowe into the first corner. Difference in the closing speed. Nelly's got to make light work of the Red Bull and the Williams, and then he is free to chase after Tom. Oh, Nelly's nearly on the curb on the inside of turn 5. Don't want to touch that curb, as that's what happens. Nelly very lucky that he caught it, and that has cost him a lot of time. So Rowe, who, however, the Rowe is being held up by Connor, who picked up another 3-second penalty amongst all of that. Connor doing a superb job at the moment, running in the net P2 after starting P11 in the Williams. These three, they're just holding each other up a bit at this point, as you have yellow flags in the middle sector. And for Ellis, who I think has got going, Team Killer's also in the pits. As Rowe has managed to get past Connor. Now can Nelly follow him through up towards turn 4? Not quite enough of a gap for Nelly. He has to get past Connor now, otherwise Rowe is just going to pull away So Paco gets another 3 seconds. The track limits. Rowe nearly already pulled the DRS. From Connor, Nelly getting very close to Connor. He's going to go for the audacious dive into turn 12. It's not just got the better traction, does Nelly. And all of this fighting, Martinoli has managed to get back on to the back of them. And Vico is also only 3.5 seconds behind them. They've been squabbling that much. Yeah, I think that was yellow flags are for Ellis, respecting the blue flags as Martinoli makes light work of Connor, gives Connor a bit of a squeeze into the first corner. As Pova is also into the pits and Connor 3 positions in a lap. I think those mediums might have just finally decided to die. Probably time to pit for those hards and hold on to what positions he still has to keep. Now, it's what can Nelly do? 7.8 seconds off the lead. Car in between him and Tom. Still has softs that will still feel fresh. He's just got to try and get past Rowe, and he only has to get within 3 seconds of Tom, because Tom has a 3-second time penalty. He's just got to keep it clean, does Nelly, I think, at this point. So even though he probably could have pitted for those hards and had the comfortable race lead and would have been the hunted, he's decided to be the hunter. He's getting very close to Rowe, and you can just see the difference in the fresh softs compared to fairly old mediums at this stage. From Connor as well, still hasn't pitted, and Connor has lost so much time on this lap, but Vico is actually getting past Connor, and I think Connor has ridiculously held up Vico on that last lap. As oh no, Nelly gets 3 seconds. Oh, it's not going to be helpful for Nelly. Now has equal penalties to Tom. He's now got to do it on track again. Being so close to the Red Bull through the middle sector. The grip difference is huge at this stage, and again late on the brakes is Nelly. And again nearly just running into the back of Rowe. There's so much more confidence at this stage, does Nelly, and will he manage to get it done into turn 1? He's got a lot of battery to play with, to be fair to him. Rowe's light is flashing. He's got low ERS, and Nelly down the inside, comfortable move, and the Racing Point is up into second place. 7.5 seconds to Tom. Can Nelly get after Tom? Is bad that picks up 3 seconds. And this is it now for Nelly. He's got to start pumping in some very fast laps while those softs are still fresh, as Ellis is around the 10.5. Really now does Nelly, he has to put those laps in to bring the gap down to Tom, and he's actually extended it on this lap. It's Tom in a complete world of his own. As Ellis gets 10 seconds for track limits. Not quite sure how that works. He gets another 3 seconds to go along with it. And penalties. And top 3 all on 3. Martinoli is on none. And he is only... He's actually fighting with Vico at the moment, I think. No, Martinoli's in the pits for his second pit stop. Yeah, most people with penalties, Martinoli, Rigby, Pover and Mr. Silence being the only 4 without any penalties. And now he's just putting a bit... He's managed to break the DRS to Rowe, which I think was very important for him as Ellis retires in the pit lane from the first DNF of the race. And Nelly needs to start making inroads as Martinelli picks up his first 3 seconds. And now that he's got past Rowe, not making too big of an inroad. 7 lap old softs aren't the best. He's coming into the pits as Tom is also in the pits. Rowe carries on. Vico pits as well. So Vico's going to get held now in the pits because Tom is also in with him. So Packway carries on. Chemical Wolf is finally getting rid of those hards that he started on. Rigby carries on. Whilst only pitted a lap ago. Connor pitted for softs off the mediums. What are some of these drivers do? No one. I think the only person that has attempted the 1-stop is Chemical Wolf. Mr. Silence has also attempted it, but obviously he had to pit early for those hards. But the strategy for some of these drivers is very, very surprising. And Tom as well came out in 2nd place, so he only lost 1 position in the end, Tom, after making that pit stop, and it was to Rowe, who still has to pit. Who should surely be in on this lap, or Rowe. He's not, carries on for another lap. Is Rowe going to push it to put on softs at the end? Into Packway, is the Packway going to come in? No, he's not either, so these two look like they're going to try and stretch it to put softs on. Rigby running in P4. Martinoli is... Martinoli has actually undercut Nelly, I think. Yeah, he has. You see Connor, Nelly sets a purple final sector down towards turn 1. Nelly is going to re-overtake Connor. Connor's going to try and fight it on those softs, but she's got more grip at this stage, does Nelly. Retakes P6. Rowe again carries on. Lapping in the 120s at the moment. Tom is catching him very, very quickly. As he sets a new personal best. Mr. Packway is now pitting for his 2nd pit stop. Will it be softs or will it be mediums? Nelly sets the fast lap of 118 dead, and for the Packway will be another set of mediums. Going on, as Nelly has also managed to get past Rigby. Nelly is really pushing just to try and get past these guys and try and chase after Tom. Still got 1 car between him and the Alfa Romeo. Rowe. Is Rowe going to pit on this lap? Seems still a little bit too early if he's trying to stretch this for softs. And he does not pit. I really think he wants to stretch this for softs. He's got to stretch it to about lap 27, 28. And at that point it may not even be worth it, because he'll get undercut. He'll definitely get undercut by these two. He'll probably get undercut by Connor and Vico as well. See out the final corner, Nelly. Down the pit straight. Martinoli, is he going to defend it? Into turn 1, Nelly with yet another overtake for Nelly. As we had, I think these three have just went 3 wide as well. And Martinoli trying to fight back at Nelly. Can't quite do it, but Vico has managed to get past both Williams into turn 1. Move from Vico, still desperately trying to recover after that front wing change in his first pit stop. Nelly has now got 12 seconds to Tom. 12 seconds in 10 laps. It's going to be a big ask for Nelly, I think. I think he might just have to settle down for P2, and he might just have to focus on if Rowe can come back through the field after pitting for his second pit stop, and just try and hold on to the position he's got at the moment. And Rigby as well is on 18 lap old mediums from his first pit stop. Mediums proving very durable. Sure, and they can't. No, I surely can't stretch these to the end. Not an option. I guess it's just losing time to Connor, to Tom still, is Rowe at this stage, and Tom now only about 2.5 seconds behind. Nelly bringing the gap down slightly. He's pulling Martinoli along with him, is Nelly at the moment. Vico is making small inroads on them. As Rowe is into the pits with 8 laps to go. Surely there's a soft compound tyre. It is the soft compound tyre for Rowe. Is he going to repay the risk of taking those mediums long? Loses out to Vico. He has to beat Connor, and he will beat Connor. Comes out in P5. He's not too far behind. As Rigby has also came in, Bader has also came in, as they both also go to the softs for the end of this race. But Rowe, give us a bit of action in these last 8 laps. We've had quite a lot for Hungary, to be fair. There's a little bit more. Very much appreciated. Also, Nelly is gaining quite rapidly on Tom. 1.5 seconds on this lap alone. As Vico picks up, is that Vico's second penalty? As Rowe sets pair in the middle sector. That is Vico's second penalty. He's now up to 6. He's got more than everyone else around him as Vico. As Connor picks up his third 3 seconds. Rowe pushing, probably going to be a purple final sector to go along with the middle. Yes, it is. Needs some very fast laps as Connor is in for another set of softs. Bringing that gap down. Vico has managed to get within 1 second of Martinoli, so if they start fighting, that could help Rowe out significantly. Team kill missed the silence, and Rigby all very close through turn 2. Rigby looking... no, sorry, that's Connor looking for a small gap. Not quite finding one. And 4 cars all within a second of each other up the hill. And Pova is only just behind this train. That is forming behind Team Kill, who is on 10 lap old hards, Mr. Silence on 11 lap old, and 2 Williams on fresh softs. Can they get themselves into the points, the 2 Williams? As Rowe does set that fastest lap, 17.4. It's got within a second of Vico. Needs to make these moves quick and decisive, does Rowe. No messing about. In this scrap we've got Mr. Silence. Rigby has managed to get past Connor and Mr. Silence down the inside. Are they gonna go 3 wide down the pit straight? Don't think Connor quite has enough straight line speed to do it. Mr. Silence certainly has enough to go with, side by side with Rigby. Is Rigby, Rigby cuts the first corner, and Connor with a beautiful switchback. Now they're 3 wide on the road to 10-2, and they make contact. No! No, Connor is split off into the wall. Oh, it looked like they could have done that. Very nearly kept it clean. Rigby is through, and Connor now has front wing damage. Oh, it's going to ruin Connor's race. No, that's his chance of points. Have now been eliminated. Flick back to Rowe, who is now just half a second behind Vico. Vico, crucially for Vico, has the DRS from Martinoli. Not at the moment for Rowe. The 2 in front of him both have 6 seconds, so at the moment it would be enough to take P3 without having to force his way through. So will he risk it? Will he risk it to try and chase Nelly? That is the question. And Nelly is also still gaining on Tom. As Rigby makes a move on Team Kill into turn 1. Get up into 9th. Are these three just going to create a bit of a DRS train for these final 5 laps? Looks like they might. The road doesn't have to risk anything. So Martin only gets a bit of a wobble. It's not going to cost him too much though. And down the pit straight, and again they're just going to keep it single file. Vico has the least DRS out of the 3. He's in single digits. But Vico looking... I think Vico wants to get past Martinoli. Just to put a bit of breathing room between him and Rowe. He wants any chance of finishing this race on the podium. Gap at the front now down to 6.7 as well. Nelly is pushing. And Nelly really wants to try and chase after Tom. And focus on these 3 for now. Being the closest people on track. And Vico has dropped back significantly on this lap. He might end up losing the DRS here, Vico. If he loses a 10th through the penultimate corner. It's a decent run and he's going to keep it. And Rowe again just too far back. Let's have a look, and no, Rowe is going to have a look into turn 1. It's late on the brakes. It's a really good move from Rowe. Late on the brakes, Vico left in the room, left the door open, and Rowe on track is up to P4. Now can he get past Martinoli? And try and chase after Nelly, who has got that gap down to just 5.5. The gap at the front is coming down very, very quickly between Tom and Nelly. Vico has dropped out of the second overall, and it's not going to help Vico in his fight with Martinoli to try and what is now effectively a battle for P4. Bro, just pushing, trying to get close enough. Has the DRS. Does he have an ERS advantage? He has slightly more ERS than Martinoli. This time not close enough to go for any sort of dive. And Nelly now just 4.5 seconds behind Tom. Nelly is gaining by nearly a second to a second and a half a lap on Tom at the front. If Tom gets another penalty now, Nelly is in a really good position. And take the win, but focus on these two. Vico has really dropped back now. There's 9 seconds of penalties. Again, Vico is running wide in the background. And on this lap, Rose actually lost the DRS on this lap. Martin only have those softs began to fall off the cliff. He definitely doesn't look as quick as he was now, Rowe. Again, he only has to stay within 3 seconds of the Renault if he wants to finish on the podium. This now nearly 3.5 seconds. It's coming down. And Packway at another 3 seconds. Rowe is now floating around that 1 second mark. Doesn't look like he's going to get it on track. And Tom rounds the final corner. Starts his final lap. Nelly is just there, 2.5 seconds. Tom out of ERS as well. Nelly is near enough out himself. I think Nelly just needed 1 or 2 more laps in this race, and he might have been close enough to have the DRS and have a go, but I think Tom is just going to hold on as long as he doesn't get himself another 3 seconds or makes a mistake. And through the middle sector, Nelly, board with Nelly, see how much he is pushing. Gap is 1.6, it's a second a lap faster is Nelly. 2 tenths up on this lap. It's not going to be enough. As Tom rounds the final corner for the 35th and final time. And by just over a second, Tom wins in Hungary. Nelly is second. Martinoli will come round the final corner to finish P3 on track. It will be P3 for Rowe. Martinoli is P4. Vico will finish P5, and Fingerhook has made a superb recovery. Almost 26 lap old hards after having a contact with Nelly. Fingerhook finishes P6, the Packway is 7th. Chemical Wolf, the only person to try a one-stop, gets them P8. Oh no, he gets them P7s, the Packway's penalties being applied. Rigby, contact on lap 1. Rigby will come home for 9th. Mr. Silence is going to get... Mr. Silence will get the P9 after his spin. Pova gets P10 to knock Rigby out of the points. Team Kill is 12th. Squidis is 13th. Connor after... I don't think is pitted to replace that front wing. No, he hasn't. Disappointing end for Connor. Be P14. And Bader a lap down. Come across the line. 15th. The game gives driver of the day to Nelly. I think I'm probably going to give it to Nelly as well. Probably could have done a different strategy, but some of those overtakes from Nelly were very crucial, and on a track where it's so difficult to overtake, to pull off as many as he did, especially after being spun in the early stages. I think he will very much take P2. One more lap could have won as well, but it will be Tom with a very, very good win from pole position. Final results: Tom in P1, Nelly, driver of the day, in P2. Rowe made a great start, only ends up being P3, does have the fastest lap though. Martinoli in P4, Vico after his damage finishes P5. Fingerhook's superb recovery from Fingerhook to finish P6. Chemical Wolf, one of the only people to try the one-stop, gets in P7, the Packway finishes 8th. Mr. Silence is 9th, and Pova rounds out the top 10, taking that final point away from Rigby. And then Team Kill, Newsquidis, Connor, Bader, almost out on points, and Ellis being the only retirement from the race. Everyone, thank you for watching and tuning into F4 to Austria next week. Hope to see you there soon, and goodbye.